So I've coordinated Campus Safety Week for the last 5 years, I'm going to say, since we've started it. I was in part of the initial planning committee when it was Fire Safety Day, and over the last few years we've expanded it every year. This year we did a Campus Safety Week, so we did passive education, we did active workshops, and then we ended with the Campus Safety Day, which was, it's still more geared heavily fire than the fire attractions were the bigger attractions that day. Let's put it that way.
Well, pretty much that day we set it up more as awareness, campus safety-wide. We do have a lot of car accidents, so we initially started out with the Jaws of Life. We always like to see more students come out to it, but this year it went pretty well. We did the fireman's competition with the sports teams, worked out really, really well. The fireman's competition seems to be a hit again for the second year in a row, so that worked out pretty well. Again, it was great having their participation, and it brings a lot more people in. And then we did the live burn too, as well as the DWI demos the police did. But I think everything went pretty smoothly. And we had been planning it for a year.
After last year's Fire Safety Day, we met and debriefed that day and said what worked, what didn't work. Because we're in the 5th year of it, I think at this point, some of it flows naturally. We know that we need to get the fire companies in, we know New York State needs to be involved, but the planning committee is made up of representatives from all the organizations that participated. So we had students involved with it, we had Bard Fire Protection Department, we had Red Hook Sheriff Department, Red Hook's Police Department, the Sheriff's Department.
State Fire, Alarm and Suppression, Salisbury's, Calculated Fire Protection, Chartwell's. So there was a lot of different vendors that were there that day.
You know, they are a part of the Bard community. If there's an accident, if there's an emergency, it's our Sheriff's Department, it's the Red Hook Police, it's Tivoli Fire Company and Rescue, it's Red Hook Fire and Rescue that are responding to us and working with us to deal with that situation, whatever it might be. So they are impacted. They are all volunteer. They all give up their days of work to come here for that day because it's important enough for them to say, this is our community too. And so I think that regardless of the day and age, we need to remind people that there are ways to protect themselves and to protect the community, which is where Campus Safety Week comes into play.
So I think that raised a lot more awareness with students as far as that there is dangers off campus, there's dangers on campus. And I hope that day that kids can bring it home and say, oh, I remember, this is kind of something I should be thinking about. Or, oh, that's how you use a fire extinguisher. I never knew how to use a fire extinguisher type of deal. As simple as it may be, in a panic mode, people don't think about that.
One of the things that's important to remember is that because we have such a potential loss for life here, the more calls we get here, the more we're pulling away from the folks in the community. And they have to respond when there's a call here. And so if we're doing false alarms, it's pulling them away from potential real alarms somewhere else. And so it benefits the community to educate, right, in that way. And it also benefits us because the less false alarms we have, the more important those calls are when they come through.